Friends, Namaskar. I'm very happy to be here to present the concluding video for the series which was on implementation of the message of the Bhagwad Geeta in our lives. I hope you have seen the earlier videos. It's very important. If you haven't seen, you can go to the YouTube channel and have a look at them, because this video will be a summary of all that we have done so far, and it will tell you in a balanced scorecard manner what is it that we need to do to take the message of Gita implementation and to record it for your own introspection and see the areas of improvement that you need to work on. So this is in that sense a very important video. So we have in the last uh, few videos. The first video we have done the introduction to Bhagwad Gita, telling you what it is, what's relevance, why do we need it, what do we need while we are reading or hearing of it, and what do we not have to do it. So all that we have done in the first video, which was the introduction. Then we have discussed the very important concept of detached action. We have an equation S is equal to E into G into D, where S was a success, E is effort, G is the God's will, D the destiny of the Prarabdha. And we have debated on that. There is a detailed video, the second video. We have discussed in this video only the different types of karma. We have discussed action and inaction, inaction. So all that was already discussed. Then we have discussed in the third video the control of desires. So how the desires come when the Purusha and the Prakriti, they combine to make a living being. The senses are made and they come in touch with the sense objects. The desires are created and the various stages of desires are there. We have seen the example of the horse and the chariot, in which the desires are the horses that are pulling in whatever direction, and we need to control them by the reins, which is our mind, and the mind is the reins are controlled by the driver, the Sarathi, which is the intelligence, and then the soul is the passenger and the chariot is the body. So we have discussed that. We have discussed there is a whirlpool of desire that we have, and unless we are careful, we will be drawn into this whirlpool of desire, and we will be sucked into it, and we will slowly lose our sense of right and wrong, and it will be the anatomy of making sinful actions. So we have also discussed in the video how to channelize our desires. Gita doesn't tell us to subjugate or completely stop our desires. It is not possible, but we have to channelize our desires and give it a higher taste. We have to feed the desires which are spiritual needs rather than the materialistic needs. We have, by the way of Krishna's flute, taken the symbolism of how best we can be as hollow without any ego, like the flute of Krishna, and the holes of the flute which symbolize the various senses. We need to, pass the various actions through them in a controlled manner, so that the divine music of Krishna, which is life itself, flows in a harmonious manner. We have discussed the very important topic of death. What is death? We have discussed death is not the end of life, but it is a part of life. We have discussed the difference between soul and the body. Death of any loved one, of any friend, relative, parent causes pain. Gita tells us how that pain need not be converted to suffering. B being the birth and D being the death. The intervening is the C, which is the choices of life that we need to make. We discussed that by a free will. We have discussed how Prarabdha influences us. Of course, Gita tells us in a very beautiful manner what is the way in which we can have a glorious and a death which is meaningful. And all of this is possible if we control our mind. So we have discussed that in this video. I'm not repeating that. And we have seen the journey of each birth, how the cumulative credits of the good karma over the bad karma is goes on accumulating, and then we go on reaching births of a higher spiritual plane. And in this journey, we finally will reach towards liberation, moksha. So all that we also discussed. In the last video before this, we have discussed the org structure. We have called the creation of God as the Sanatana Dharma Incorporation, and just like the org structure of any organization, we have discussed which God is in which position, and also discussed the celestial gods, the demigods, and the other forces, divine forces that are there, and then finally it ends at the last rung, which is immortal, like you and me, who are in this divine journey trying to find out our way to a righteous way. We have discussed the who actually is Bhagwan, what are the influences that make Bhagwan, and what is Bhakti, and what is the Bhakti of Samapan. The easiest path of Bhakti is explained by Krishna himself. So there are various ways of reaching Krishna, either to the Gyan Yoga or through the Raj Yoga, which is the yoga of the Ashtanga Yoga, or by the devotional path in which there is a whole life dedicated, like the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that kind of a bhakti. And as per Krishna, the easiest way of getting his bhakti is if we just do the actions that we are supposed to do, and just detach ourselves from the result, and do the actions as if it is a sacrifice to Lord Krishna. Various guarantees that Krishna gives us, that he will be able to protect whatever we have, and he will be able to provide whatever we don't have, and various other guarantees and assurances provide us the way that we don't have to go here, there, and lose our path in the wilderness. There is a clear-cut message given by Krishna to follow his preferred path and reach out to him. So all this has been said and done, and we have absorbed that. Now is the time of implementation. So what I thought was that if we have to implement anything, we have to first measure it. If you cannot measure something, you cannot control it, you cannot manage it, you don't know where you are and what is the improvement you need to do. So the message of Gita is vast, and I've just tried to lift from this vast ocean some buckets of advice and inputs, so that there is something for us to act on in our daily life. So there is some takeaway that we can immediately do, and as we progress, we can go deeper and deeper into it. But at this moment, I thought just like a balanced scorecard that we have in organizations, we can have action, bhakti, learning, growth, and control as the 4 parameters in which various actions can be taken. So there is the implementation of Bhagwad Geeta, a balanced scorecard which has been made. This is of 25 various parameters. Each parameters is, I've said, just for simplicity, marks are from 1 to 4, and you can score yourself so that there is more clarity of each of this quadrant. I will show you each quadrant in detail, so that you have an idea of what we are talking about. So this is something in which you have to do introspection and score yourself. The implementation part is now starting at your end. So my effort was to give you a gist of whatever is the message of Gita, in which there are action points in which you can immediately start implementing. And now you have to see where you are in this journey and do the needful yourself. So let me deep dive into each quadrant, so that this you can relate to whatever lessons we have been doing earlier. So in the action required quadrant, the serial number 1 is the detached action, no doership, no right or result. This we have discussed in detail. So अगर कोई भी काम कर रहे हो, ये सोचना कि मैं कर रहा हूँ, ये me myself को निकालना है, and if we are doing some work with all the effort, we don't have either the right of doership or the right over the result. मुझे उस रिजल्ट के ऊपर अधिकार भी नहीं है, तो ये सोच के is the first parameter. You can score yourself from 1 to 4 on this. The second is the detached from cycle of action and reaction. We are always in this cycle. कुछ भी होता है हम उसको react करते हैं. How to detach ourselves from that cycle so that we are in control of our emotions. We are not in control of someone else's action. किसी ने कुछ बोला हम उस पर react करते हैं and then it goes on in a cycle. Third point, equipoise. Many times Krishna has said to remain calm, composed in all situations. Similarly, number 4, equanimity. All people, all friends, enemies are the same. There's no hatred to anyone. Humility, number 5 point, is very important. In fact, in all journeys of spirituality, all your efforts will be lost if this element of humility is not there. So there's no ego, no jealousy, happiness for others. So that is something very important. Kindness, compassionate towards others is the 6th point. 7th, non-violent in action and words. Action तो हम लोग mostly रहते हैं, but words में भी रहना है. That is, you need to introspect that. Truthfulness, always supporting the truth. Forgiveness, no grudges, no baggage. In present day life, we are full of grudges, negativity, and a lot of baggage. So iska kuch you have to make amends for that. Respect towards elders, gurus, scriptures. So all of these 10 points are the action required. You can score yourself on this. These are something which is completely in your control. तो इसमें किसी और का input नहीं है. It is something that you need to do. So this is the first quadrant, and hopefully you will score high on this. The second quadrant, which is control, is a matter of big concern, and यहाँ पे मामला गड़बड़ होने वाला है, because number 1, self-control over desires for materialistic pleasures. So this quadrant is basically of the mind. So how we can control our mind so that we have self-control over desires for materialistic pleasures. So away from materialistic pleasures, the spiritual needs need to be met. So वहाँ पे कैसे लेके जाना है, this is something which you need to introspect. Control over body. So initially everything appearing nectar will be poison, and initially appearing as poison will be nectar. So we, in this age of instant personal gratification, this is something we need to caution ourselves. So whatever is the अभी एक्सरसाइज करोगे, तकलीफ में आओगे तो अच्छा होएगा. All that journey needs to be done. So this we are aware. Control of free will to make right choices. God has given us the right to make free will. सभी के पास अपना free will है, उसको ठीक से use करना है, और वो अगर नहीं use करते हैं तो our this opportunity of this birth is lost. Control lust, ego, pride, anger, greed. Like I said, इस quadrant को मुश्किल होने वाला है, but we must try to control all this. This is all control of the mind, and which we discussed in one of the videos, is either by practice. In the practice element, there's the practice of going through various scriptures, mantras, chants, prayers, meditation. This is practice that you have sense of control over the mind. And the other point which Krishna told Arjuna is to try to detach. So in detach, you have to say no. You have to learn to control your unlimited ambitions. कि मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे गाड़ी चाहिए, I need promotion, I need that, and that is making your mind agitated and go towards away from the spiritual path. And of course you have to remain in your cycle of influence, not to be worried about matters or events which are outside your cycle of influence. So we have also discussed control of the mind. Like we said, ये सब घोड़े हैं जो दौड़ रहे हैं, and there might be different directions, so we need to control them by the reins, which is the mind, and the mind is by intelligence, and then the soul and the God is in that sequence. So this quadrant is something you really need to work on. The third quadrant is the software quadrant. So if the first quadrant was for action and the second quadrant was for the mind, the third quadrant was to how to internally build debugging of your software so that you are able to perform in this journey of spirituality in a better way. So this is something which you have to either learn to tell yourself and to convince yourself that number one, life will be full of dualities. ऐसा नहीं है खराब चल रहा है टाइम तो अच्छा आएगा, अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है तो इतना we don't have to be overjoyed. It'll end. So life will be in this cycle of good and bad, hot and cold, happy, sad, all of that. So that is we have to internalize ourselves. The second is this is very important, that the real happiness, all of us are in pursuit of some happiness or the other. This happiness that we are pursuing is either by validation, by someone praising us, or in some materialistic gain, a better car, a better bungalow, or in some relationship. The real happiness is not this. The real happiness we need to internalize is going to happen from within. Everyone has to find this happiness from within in his own way. I cannot help that, but the only suggestion I can give is that if you give happiness, it gives you real happiness. So this could be just a clue to find real happiness from within. Number 3, making life purposeful, utilizing this birth's opportunity to reach to higher plane. So बहुत मुश्किल से बहुत blessing से ये हमें life मिली है इस birth में, and the best of the opportunity that we have, we need to utilize that, and we need to use it so that we are able to go to the next life closer to Krishna in a higher spiritual plane. So all of us, by virtue of being born in very good parents' household, in having good educations, in having good health and good relations, everything is proper. So necessarily means that we had earlier births which were quite nice, and we have been rewarded for that. Now in this journey, we need to give extra effort so that this spiritual journey continues in an incremental way, and we are able to add on to this and reach closer to Krishna and finally get liberation. Number 4, understand Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Swadharma is the duty towards ourselves, to our family, to our neighborhood, to our country, to the whole world. Whereas Sanatan Dharma is the journey of introspection to find the divineness in ourselves. And this is Dharma which is eternal. And this is an individual journey that we need to take. So this is something we need to internalize. The most important thing that we need to understand is that God has created us with some software bugs. So this gunas, किसी को सात्विक, राजसिक, तामसिक का कुछ कॉम्बिनेशन है, किसी को कुछ और कॉम्बिनेशन है, बट हर एक all living beings are there with this combination, and these combinations are conditioning his behavior. So जो हम लोग को लग रहा है कि ये अच्छा है, वो हो सकता है वो अच्छा भी ना हो. So because of this conditioning, our good might be bad, and our bad of course is bad. So we need to overcome the bugs that are put there inside us by the previous birth, so that we are able to overcome the negativity of each the conditioning of the gunas and reach beyond that. The spiritual journey of reaching God is only if we go beyond these gunas. The last quadrant is of bhakti. We have discussed a full video on this. So we need bhakti of samarpan. We have reached a stage in which we see God in everything, and everything in God is quite difficult to achieve, but this is something we need to do, and this we can do by meditation, chanting, scriptures, which are all food for the soul. So all the time we are having food for the body, but we are now seeking out food for the soul. And there are various emotions that we are, attracted towards doing bhakti. But if we are afflicted, we are fearful, or we are even having sense of some gratitude, these are all emotions that we can start bhakti on. But the actual bhakti will start when we are doing it without any vested interest. We are having nothing in mind. We are all only surrendering to God and putting ourselves into His hands. कि जो आप करोगे अच्छा करोगे, because He Himself has guaranteed that. And all actions that we do in our life are like I said, a sacrifice made to God, and this will make our bhakti proper. So this balanced scorecard has been given. Of course, this is not sacrosanct. This is a work in progress, and it needs further improvement as we go on. But this is a starting point so that we have a sense of where we are, which is the area that we need to improve on. If you need my help or my interaction to understand any particular video in more detail, or to understand what action is required to do in all these 25 different parameters to score better. This scoring is for yourself. It is not for me. Like I said, it is from 1 to 4. 1 is WIP, 0 to ho nahi sakte, because we already are the privileged lot. So, and 4 is something that we need to achieve. So maximum score is 100 and minimum is 25. So we should be, I think, whatever we are, 40 or above. So you can identify areas to work on, and then we can start implementing the message of Gita in a logical and measurable manner. So in sense, this was the result that we needed to achieve. This was the gist of all that we have done, and I hope these videos have been useful and you are able to now actually implement. So you have heard the message of Gita many times, you have read maybe Gita many times, but I have done something to spark out the interest of implementing it, whatever you have read or heard, so that there is something that is workable and which is implementable in your life, to make it more purposeful, more meaningful, and your spiritual journey becomes closer to Krishna, and you're able to find Krishna within yourself. That is all from me on this series. We will do a further series on Bhagwad Geeta as I receive some requests. Till then, take care. God bless. Thank you. Om Namah Bhagwate Vasudevaya.